Dear chess friends, this is Jirka Dufek on our chess channel, and today I will show you the game Vanosmael Roos, where was played Samish attack in Grünfeld Defence. Let's start. c4, knight f6, knight c3, g6, e4, d6, d4, bishop g7, f3, short castle, bishop e3, and black played e5. Oh, I forgot, this is correspondence game from very old times, so I think pre-computer era from 1984. But it's very important for this line. E5 was main move for maybe 60, 70 years before it was replaced with a move knight c6 or maybe even c5. But of course, this move cannot be bad. Maybe the kind of position which arises after this move not everyone is based, but still this is very important part of chess story. And in this position, white played d5, which is one of the main moves. Probably very strong move. Another one is knight g2, and after c6, d5, cd, cd, a6, queen d2, knight bd7, and now, of course, g4 with, I think, with a slight advantage for white after h5, g5, knight h7, and now knight c1, which is a very important move. Maybe rook g1 is very strong too. It was played by Karpov, I think, but knight c1 is probably much clearer way how to get an advantage. But after knight bd7, there was played one old game, Georgiy Kasparov, Thessaloniki Olympiad 1988, and in this game Georgiy played knight c1, and after a few moves, knight h5, bishop d3, f5, knight e1 to e2, knight f6, ef, gf, we have some similar position which will arise in our game. And in game against Georgiy, Kasparov played very interesting and typical idea, knight g3, and now e4. Kasparov sacrificed pawn, and after taking on h5, fe, f4 was played. After bishop f2, bishop g4, h3, bishop g2. And the main idea of this pawn sacrifice is getting this square, or of course, long castle, bishop e5, e5 square for black piece. Bishop on e5 is, of course, it is beast because it's control both flanks, and sometimes even knight can be regrouped to this square, and a knight on e5 of course will control a lot of squares. It's like octopus in the center of a board, and this is very important for our game because this idea from Kasparov game means that in his position black can control e5, and he has more or less full compensation for a pawn, even if computer thinks something different, but this is not important at the moment. Back to the game, d5, knight h5, queen d2, f5. Of course, there are some players who wants to sacrifice queen with queen h4, and after g3, knight x g3, queen f2, knight x f1, queen h4, knight e3, king e2, knight c4, rook c1, as was played in Karpov Valery Bomovich Skopje 1976. I think that black doesn't have full compensation, but if you are very well prepared with the black pieces, then you can surprise your opponent with this queen sacrifice. But still, f5 is a main move. Now, long castle, knight d7, everything is normal, and now e takes f5, which is maybe the most precise move. In an old game, Timon Kasparov Linares 1992, was play bishop d3, knight c5, bishop c2, a6, knight g2, b5. And even in this game, I think Timon could get an advantage, but he was outplayed and he lost terribly in I think in 95 moves. You can check your database. This game was commented a lot of times, but it takes f5 is very simple, straightforward way how to play. Gf, bishop d3. This is best square for a bishop. And maybe it's time to say something about these pawns. Of course, this pawns looks very nice. They controls a lot of, oh, not this one, lot of squares. But on the other side, mainly f5 pawn is quite weak. He's not supported with any other pawn. It means that we can attack this pawn. And very often we see something like knight h3 and g4. Simply first move this pawn forward and leave e4 square for a knight. This should be a very big problem for black, because with knight on e4 it means that white has maybe winning advantage. And of course, one of the way how to play with this pawn is to play e4, opening long diagonal, and then playing f4 and covering or leaving e5 square for minor piece for knight or for bishop, as we saw in Kasparov game. It very depends on dynamics of black play. So because if black will play passively, then this pawn will be a very big problem for him. Knight df6, knight g2 is typical move. Another very interesting idea is to play knight h3 and with moving the knight over to g5 to e6, or simply preparing g4 some way. Knight g2, king h8, and this is very interesting position. It was played in dozen times, maybe in 100 games, and in most of games, white played something like bishop g5 or king b1, which is interesting. Even Grandmaster Ullman, German Grandmaster, he played this position during 26 years 5 times. And firstly he played in 1965 and last time I think in 1991, as my database said. But nobody except Vanosmael in this game, nobody found a solution in this position, and I think the solution is the right word, because probably this position is just maybe close to winning for a white, but you need to find the best move in this position. And the best move in this position is very surprising move, knight g3. It looks like a big error because after f4, white will lose a piece. But things are not so simple. Firstly, we will check move e4, which is similar to Kasparov game. Yes, if you will compare this is Kasparov game. Pieces are on nearly on the same squares. Then now e4 has some sense too. But in this position, white can play better. You will take on h5, knight takes, fe, f4, bishop f2. Still we can compare this position and this position. everything is same. Bishop g4, but now white can play very strong bishop e2, and now we will see that this is just a very big problem for black, because now black is forced to take on e2, knight takes e2, and we will see that into position there is terrible threat, knight d4 and knight e6, and maybe even bishop d4, exchanging bishops, and after that just jumping to knight to e6. And another big problem in this position is that pawn on f4 is quite weak. Black can play queen e7, but now knight d4. Black will take a pawn on e4, rook d1, queen g6, knight e6. Finally we reach this square, rook f7, and of course knight takes g7, we will kill this king's Indian bishop, knight takes, and bishop d4. The pin is very unpleasant, and now there is some kind of this with attacking of this pawn. After king g8 we will play rook hf1, and we have a very big advantage, maybe close to winning. That is why probably black try to simply take a piece, f4, and there is no other way, because after knight takes f5, fe with attack on both pieces. That means that after f4 we are forced to play bishop f2. And now I think black is more or less forced to take piece on g3, hg, queen e8, and we can now stop for a while, and we can think what got white with his piece sacrifice. And we see that of course this file is deadly for black king. This knight, he simply cannot jump. He simply cannot jump. There are no squares for him. But of course, probably he will find something on f4 later. And of course, this diagonal is very important too. White played simply rook h4 with simple idea to double rooks on h file. King g8, trying to escape with the king from h file. Rook h1 and bishop d7, which is probably not best move. I tried to find some defense, but I wasn't successful. Probably slightly better was rook f7. And after bishop c2, king f8, white has more ways how to continue. One of the way, or maybe first way, is to simply taking some material back. After queen g5, bishop d7, taking on h5, queen takes e4, knight takes e4, queen e5, taking on e5, knight g5, rook e7, knight h7, king g8, and g4. And now we see that white is exchanged down, but he has 3 pawns, which means that he has very big advantage. Another way after king f8 is g4, knight f4, bishop e3, and white still continue to pressure with g3, g5, maybe f4 and f4, and of course h7 pawn will fall in a few moves. will fall in a few moves. Another way was to just move to king on a safer square on b1, and after something like a5, g4, knight f4, bishop e3, knight g6, rook h2, bishop d7, g5, knight g8, and rook takes h7. We see that there are not so much moves for black. At the moment, knight on g6 is hanging, and white is preparing simply g3 and f4 and opening a file on a black king. In fact, after rook d h1, I think black is simply helpless. He played bishop d7, bishop c2, a6, g4, knight f4, g5, knight h5, and g4. Of course, there are no squares for this knight, and black is simply losing some material. He plays knight g6, rook takes h5, rook takes f3, and now white play knight e4. We see that h7 pawn will be lost in a few moves, and which is maybe more important, knight is coming to f6 very quickly, which will destroy black position. Knight e4, bishop takes g4, rook takes h7, queen d8. But now white finished game in a few moves. Knight f6 check, but not only check, but attacking this knight too. Takes, queen takes f6, and now bishop g6, and black resign, because after queen takes, check, king g7, and rook takes a8, and white is rook up. I think we need some conclusion. I think that e5 is of course playable, but black should play some different way than Roos in this game. I think after knight d7, which is one of the most important position in this line, the best way how to continue is simply take on g5 and playing bishop d3, and after knight df6, which is maybe not the best move, but it's very hard to offer some alternative in this position. Knight g2, king h8, and now knight g3 is killing move. I think after this move, black is more or less helpless against precise play, and he can simply resign in this position, well, which is slightly absurd, but I think just this is the right evaluation of this position. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.